Okay guys, so in this video I'm going to run you through how I want you to set up for the bench press. Now more often than not you'll find people doing flat back, which I'm against. I coach what they call the power lifter setup. There's three main things, okay? I like to keep bench very, very simple. Where does the power come from? Pecs, the shoulders, the triceps. So we want to put our upper body in a position where the body can express the power that we're creating when we're pressing, right? So as the bar touches your chest, the bar should always touch your chest, you're able to drive it up as fast as you can, but maintain a stable position. And that's step one, is shoulder/scapular control. And what I want you to do when you're sitting there or standing there is squeeze your shoulder blades together as hard as you can, right? Now squeeze a little harder. Squeeze a little harder again, as hard as you can. It should almost be cramping by now. That there is the tightness that I want you to create, right? No joke. I want you to squeeze as hard as you can, then squeeze harder, and then one more time, squeeze as hard as you can with those shoulder blades. You should almost feel like your like erectors and rhomboids are cramping up. Because when we can keep this position, with step one is to help obviously keep a healthy shoulder. If you've got any shoulder impingements, it's because you have no scapular/shoulder blade stability, but also so that we can generate power from the pec, shoulder, tricep, through the wrist and out the bar as we're pressing from there. So step number one is, before anything, squeeze your shoulder blades, keep them squeezed in this position. So as you're benching, you're keeping them squeezed. So that's step one. Step two, breathing and bracing. So we need an anchor point, right? Think about it like this. The pec is attached to the sternum. What's also attached to the sternum is your core, like your transverse abdominis or your abs. So if we're stable here, then as we're trying to generate power through the pecs, shoulders, triceps, out the bar, we need to have an anchor point. If here isn't tight, then all the force that we generated on the way down is going to wither away, or we're going to lose think like power, percentage of power of which you've created on the way down. So breathing and bracing is very, very important. You use the same bracing mechanics as you do in the squat or the deadlift into the bench. And if you don't know how to do that just yet, go back to the video around how I teach people to breathe through the Valsalva maneuver. But bracing is very, very simple. Should always take an inhale at the top, and then you hold it all the way through the movement, but you never release the air fully until the set is over. So but you're probably thinking, but what about perhaps reps of 10? Well, if you have reps of 10, then what you can do is take a breath every 2 to 3 reps, but don't exhale everything. I want you to just exhale about 20% of the air that you took, exhale 20%, regather the extra 20%. It's going to feel very tight, it's going to feel very uncomfortable, but you're going to find you have a more stable bench because of that anchor point. Allow me to show you. So I'm squeezing my shoulder blades. So that there is step number 2, breathing and bracing throughout the bench. Step number 3 is leg drive. So again, generating power from the pec, shoulder, or from the core, pec, shoulder, tricep, out the bar, complete the bench press. The next thing is adding more stability to the bench, as well as more driving force. So you've probably seen people, especially in powerlifting, get their legs right under and back, right? And you're thinking, why are they doing that? Well, there's 2 reasons. Add stability to your bench press. The more stable you are on this bench, the more likely you are to hit it. And also that you can generate force from the legs through the anchor point, from the pec to the shoulder, tricep, out through the bar, complete your bench press. There's a very specific way I like people to set up though. And it's very much going to come down to trial and error. You're going to have to try a lot of times and find what works best for you. But where I want you to start is bring the head the other side of the bench, so your chin should be on the other side of the barbell, and pull your feet back to a point here where your heel is basically under your butt, right? Once you've got that position, push the heel down. When you do this, you should feel your quad tighten up a little bit. And then from there, they stay put. Heel down, pull yourself, squeeze your shoulder blades, big air. And you can just see there, by combining scapula squeezed, breathing and bracing for a strong anchor point, and then allowing the legs to stabilize and generate force from the floor, a stable and very powerful bench. So just to recap, 3 big things. First one is scapulas retracted, scapulas pulled in towards the spine as hard as you can. Next thing is breathing and bracing, breathing at the top of the lift, never fully letting the breath exhale. And finally, leg position, feet as close under the bum as you can, as much as this will potentially restrict you, but feet under the bum as far as you can, heels pushed down throughout the whole movement, maintain all 3, and bench strong. So as always guys, back average. If you have any questions, pop them below and I'm happy to answer them.